Well, a planned launch for a SpaceX rocket on a US military mission has been delayed. Joining us for more on this is Glen Nagle. He's the Outreach and Visitor Centre Manager at the CSIRO's Canberra Deep Space Communication Complex. Glen, always good to see you. What went wrong?
Yeah, thanks, Ash. Unfortunately, it was a ground systems issue. They were looking at the weather, and fortunately, that was improving. In fact, at an 85% go for launch. But right at the last few minutes, that the ground systems just gave a -4 launch. They're going to turn around, have a look at this, and go for the next potential launch attempt, maybe about 24 hours from now.
Okay, so what's the point of the mission? What are they hoping to achieve when it does get up there?
So this is actually the first time that the US Space Force is actually using a Falcon Heavy rocket. That's SpaceX's huge rocket with the 3 reusable stages in it to better launch their X-37B space plane. This is like a mini shuttle, and they've actually flown 6 previous flights. This 7th flight was to actually test higher orbits, more space situational awareness, but particularly to run some experiments for NASA in materials science, looking at the effect of long-term radiation on materials that might use for a future mission off to Mars or for lunar missions. There's also a really fascinating experiment on board carrying tomato seeds that are actually going to be exposed to the radiation of space. Those tomato seeds will be brought back in a couple of years and then given to school students all across the United States and maybe a few other places around the world, just so we can grow space tomatoes.
That is a pretty cool school project, if I've ever heard one, Glen. Look, 2024 is shaping up to be a pretty exciting time for space watchers, isn't it? NASA's planning to send astronauts around the room for the first time in, nearly 50 years. There's plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, we're gearing up for a busy year here at the Deep Space Tracking Station and right across the Deep Space Network. So not only do we have Artemis 2 launching towards the end of 2024 with those 4 astronauts on board to fly around the moon and back, the final step before we put humans back on the surface of the moon again, but with a whole bunch of planetary probes heading on out there. And one I'm particularly looking forward to is Europa Clipper. This is a mission going off to Jupiter's icy moon Europa, a world that actually has more water there than exists on the entire Earth. So this is a place where we really want to go and learn more about.
Glen Nagle will be watching it all as it happens. Really appreciate your analysis as always.
Thanks, Ash.